ఇంటర్మీడియట్ విద్యా రంగంలో అగ్రగామి మన ఎన్ఎస్ఆర్ ఇంపల్స్ ఎడ్యుకేషన్ ఇన్స్టిట్యూషన్. ఐఐటి జేఈఈ అయినా నీట్ అయినా తిరుగులేని విద్యా సంస్థ ఎన్ఎస్ఆర్ ఇంపల్స్.
Next topic is gross calorific value or gross energy value and physiological calorific value. What is the gross calorific value? What is the gross energy value means? If 1 gram of the substance is added to bomb calorimeter, if we can allow complete combustion of such 1 gram of the food inside of the bomb calorimeter, then from that how much amount of heat is gets releases is said to be as the gross calorific value or gross energy value. So before going to that, at first you have to know what is the bomb calorimeter. It is the closed metal chamber. It is the closed metal chamber which is filled with oxygen, in which if we can add 1 gram of the digested food material, by complete combustion inside of that bomb calorimeter, finally how much amount of the heat is gets releases is said to be as the gross calorie value or gross energy value. Means by allowing complete combustion of 1 gram of the digested food material inside of the bomb calorimeter, how much amount of the heat is gets obtained from that is said to be as the gross calorific value or gross energy value. Then what is the physiological calorific value means? Inside of human body, by normal oxidation of 1 gram of the food inside of the cell, how much amount of the heat is actually released is said to be as the physiological calorific value. This is the artificial procedure, this is the natural procedure. Means inside of the human body, inside of the cell, by the oxidation of 1 gram of the digested food, finally how much amount of the heat is gets actually releases is said to be as the physiological calorific value. But artificially by using the bomb calorimeter, from which by allowing complete combustion of 1 gram of the digested food, how much amount of the heat is releases is said to be as the gross calorific value or the gross energy value. Definitely gross calorific value of protein, is 4.1 kilocalories. Again gross calorific value of carbohydrates is 4.1 kilocalories. Gross calorific value of proteins is 5.65 kilocalories. Gross calorific value of fat 9.45 kilocalories. Very important and objective. Carbohydrate gross calorific value or gross energy value is 4.1 kilocalories. That means if we can allow the complete combustion of 1 gram of the carbohydrate inside of bomb calorimeter, finally 4.1 kilocalories of energy gets releases. Similarly, gross calorific value of the protein is 5.65 kilocalories. Fats is 9.45 kilocalories. Similarly, what is the physiological calorific value of carbohydrate? Carbohydrates physiological calorific value is 4 kilocalories. Protein's physiological calorific value is also 4 kilocalories. Again, fats or lipids physiological calorific value is 9 kilocalories. Carbohydrate physiological calorific value is 4 kilocalories. Protein's physiological calorific value is 4 kilocalories. Fats physiological calorific value is 9. Then when we observe the difference of gross calorific value with the physiological calorific value of various substances, what is the difference between the gross calorific value and physiological calorific value of carbohydrate means 4.1 minus 4, that is 0.1 kilocalories. Difference of gross calorific value and physiological calorific value of carbohydrate is just only 0.1 kilocalories. Difference of gross calorific value of proteins and physiological calorific value of protein is here 5.65, here only 4, that is approximately 1.65 kilocalories is the difference of energy between the gross calorific value and physiological calorific value of protein. Definitely, between the gross calorific value and the physiological calorific value, maximum difference is present in the case of the proteins only. That is approximately 1.65 kilocalories difference is there. But in the case of the fats, difference between the gross calorific value and the physiological calorific value is only 0.45 kilocalories only. 0.45 kilocalories of energy difference is there between the gross calorific value and physiological calorific value of fats here. Means here very important and neat question is that which type of this substance has maximum difference of energy between the gross calorific value and physiological calorific value means that is nothing but proteins here. In the case of the proteins only, about 1.65 kilocalories of energy difference is there between the gross calorific value and the physiological calorific value. Because proteins gross calorific value is 5.65, proteins physiological calorific value is only 4, difference is 1.65 kilocalories. This is the highest amount of the energy when compared to the rest of the two substances. This is the gross calorific value and physiological calorific value. Next one is the disorders of digestive system. Disorders of digestive system. Specifically, in disorders of digestive system, inflammation of intestinal tract, inflammation of the digestive tract is very commonly appear. Inflammation nothing but irritation, or inner side of the mucosal epithelium is becomes dark red in color, that is said to be as the irritation, that is nothing but inflammation. Either due to the viral infection or due to the bacterial infection, definitely this kind of the intestinal wall is subjected to the irritation or the inflammation very commonly. Means definitely inflammation of alimentary canal is mainly due to the bacteria and viral infection. Definitely very easily through the ingested food material, so many types of the bacteria as well as the viruses are entered into the human alimentary canal. Such bacteria and viruses normally induces irritation in the wall of the alimentary canal that must be leads to the inflammation. In addition to that, certain type of the helminth parasites also very commonly infected to the human alimentary canal. What are the means? One is the tapeworm, that is commonly called as the Taenia solium. Second one is the hookworm, Ankylostoma duodenal. Next one is the pinworm, that is Enterobius. Next one is the threadworm. This kind of the helminth parasites also very commonly infected to that kind of the human alimentary canal, and they may be easily cause their respective diseases also. Inflammation is mainly due to the infection of the bacteria and virus. Again, in addition to that, normally frequently helminth parasites also may be gets infected to the human alimentary canal, and they may be causes their respective diseases also. In addition to that, what are the common type of the diseases which are very commonly appear in the case of the human digestive system? What are the digestive system related disorders means? One is the jaundice. The principal type of the disease which is appears very commonly, which is related to the human digestive system, is jaundice. This is due to failure of liver. Means as long as the liver cells are in functioning, bile pigments such as the bilirubin, biliverdins are gets releases into the human alimentary canal in the form of the bile juice. Later they may be gets sent out in the form of the defecated matter. Means as long as the liver cells are in working, they principally useful for the secretion of the bile juice. Through the bile juice, bile pigments are releases into the human alimentary canal, from where they may be gets sent out in the form of the defecated matter. But if in the liver cells are becomes non-functional, whatever the bilirubin, biliverdin pigments which may be gets formed, they may not be gets releases into the duodenum along with the bile juice. Instead of that, they may be accumulated in various parts of the body. Various parts of the body, nothing but they may be accumulated under the sclera of eye. Sclera, nothing but white portion of the eyeball is said to be as the sclera. Under the sclera of eye, under the nail, bile pigments may be accumulated. By that way, they may be turns to yellow in color. Due to the deposition of bile pigments, under the skin of sclera and nails, they becomes a dark yellow in color. Then what are the symptoms of this kind of the disease means? Anorexia, that is nothing but loss of appetite. Loss of appetite means person leads to indigestion. Person may not be wants to feed on the food material. That is said to be as the loss of appetite. That is nothing but anorexia. Again, liver cirrhosis is also very commonly appear in this kind of the disease. Means liver cirrhosis nothing but liver cells whenever they becomes non-functional, around to the non-functional cell, fibrous connective tissue gets formed, finally leads to the formation of the tumor. If around to the non-functional liver cells, fibrous connective tissue formation if it is taken place, by that way tumor-like structures if they may be formed, that is said to be as liver cirrhosis. That's also very commonly appear. Next, nausea is also very commonly appear. Vomitings also very commonly appear in this kind of the disease. Jaundice is mainly due to the failure of the liver, in which bile pigments gets accumulated under the skin of the sclera and the nail. By that way they becomes dark yellow in color. What are the symptoms? Means loss of appetite, that is said to be as the anorexia. Liver cirrhosis is also very common. Nausea, that is the vomiting sensation. Finally that leads to the vomitings. That is the first type of the disease. Second one is the diarrhea. Second type of the digestive system disorder is diarrhea. The main reason for diarrhea is abnormal frequency of bowel movement is the main reason for the diarrhea. Abnormal frequency of bowel movement is responsible for the diarrhea. Nothing but fastest peristaltic movements, if they are occurs in wall of alimentary canal, specifically in the case of the rectum, if the fastest peristaltic movements are occurs, that is said to be as the abnormal frequency of bowel movement. That abnormal frequency of bowel movement is responsible for the diarrhea. Specifically, in the alimentary canal, fastest peristaltic movements if they are occurs, during that absorption of the digested food is not taken place in wall of small intestine. Definitely in the wall of the small intestine, peristaltic movements have to be occur very slowly. Then only it is possible to get completely absorbed the digested food material. Instead of that, if the peristaltic movements are occurs very fastly, abnormally, definitely absorption of the digested food is not taken place. By that way, liquid state of the food material as it easily reaches into the rectum, from where that is gets sent out from time to time. In that way, diarrhea nothing but the discharge of the liquid state of the feces is said to be as the diarrhea. Discharge of the liquidity of feces is said to be as the diarrhea. This is mainly due to the abnormal frequency of the bowel movement. In this case, absorption of the digested food gets affected, and larger amount of the water from the body is also gets sent out. That leads to the dehydration, means absorption of digested food is impaired, and dehydration also very commonly appear in the case of the diarrhea. Definitely along with the liquid state of the feces, larger amount of the body water is also gets sent out, that finally leads to the dehydration. Means diarrhea is mainly due to the abnormal frequency of the bowel movement only. Next, another type of the disease is constipation. Next one is the constipation. Constipation nothing but irregular defecation Irregular defecation is said to be as the constipation. Means if the person does not takes defecation regularly, then that is said to be as the constipation. This is mainly due to irregular bowel movements in rectum leads to the constipation. In generally, in the rectum, peristaltic movements have to be occur from anterior to posterior. Means peristaltic movements have to be occur from this anterior to posterior, then automatically very easily defecation is taken place. By that way feces may not be gets stored in the rectum. Instead of this, if this kind of the peristaltic movements are occurs reversely, instead of anterior to posterior, if the peristaltic movements are occurs reversely, then automatically this feces is retains inside of the rectum without getting subjecting to the defecation. This is said to be as the irregular bowel movement. Because of due to the irregular bowel movement only, this feces is retained inside of the rectum. That is said to be as the constipation. What is the main reason for that kind of the constipation? Means low amount of the water is one reason for the constipation. This is mainly due to the low amount of water leads to the constipation. Again, inadequate fiber rich food if it is ingested, that also leads to that kind of the constipation. If in the diet of the person fibers percent is very poor, that also after some time leads to the constipation. Means low availability of the water to the body, low amount of the water to the body, low fiber diet is responsible for that kind of the constipation here. Next one is the vomiting. Next one is the vomiting. What is the meaning of the vomiting? Means reverse flow of the food from the stomach into the mouth through esophagus. Reverse flow of the food from the stomach into the mouth through esophagus is said to be as the vomiting. The main reason for that kind of the vomiting is nausea is the reason for the vomiting. Vomiting sensation is said to be as the nausea, that is responsible for the vomiting. Definitely vomiting controlling center is located in medulla of brain. In our brain, in medulla oblongata, vomiting controlling center is present. As long as vomiting controlling center is in working, that never allows the vomiting. If it is becomes non-functional, that must be leads to the vomiting. Definitely vomiting controlling center or vomiting center is located in the medulla of brain. Next one is the indigestion. Next one is the indigestion. What is the indigestion means? If the ingested food material is not gets digested properly, ingested food material if it is not digested properly, then that is said to be as the indigestion. The reasons for indigestion are anxiety, because whenever the person is with more tension, whenever the person is with vigorous anxiety, in his body sympathetic nervous system is becomes excitable. That sympathetic nervous system always inhibit the secretions of the digestive juice from the digestive gland. By that way finally that leads to the indigestion. If the person is with anxiety, if the person is with more tensity, during that definitely sympathetic nervous system is becomes excitable. That shows the inhibitory effect over the digestive gland. By that way digestive juice is not secreted properly. That leads to the indigestion. Second one is the food poisoning is also one reason for indigestion. Third one is the inadequate amount of digestive juice secretion is also reason for that kind of the indigestion. Means digestive glands, if they are not secreted proper amount of the digestive juice into the alimentary canal, that is nothing but inadequate amount of the digestive juice secretion is also reason for the indigestion. And overeating also leads to the indigestion. Again, spicy food material eating is also one reason for that kind of the indigestion. If the persons feeds on the spicy food, if the persons overly eat the food material, they must be leads to the indigestion. In addition to that, inadequate secretion of digestive juice into the alimentary canal must be leads to the indigestion. Food poisoning as well as the anxiety also leads to the indigestion. These are the digestive system related diseases. In addition to them, very important to this, protein malnutrition diseases also appears in the case of the humans. Nutritional deficiency disorders. In addition to this above mentioned diseases, two important type of the malnutritional deficiency disorders also appears. What are the nutritional deficiency disorders which are very commonly appears in the case of the humans? That is protein energy malnutrition diseases. Protein energy malnutrition disorders, that is nothing but PEM. Protein energy malnutrition disorders, they are principally are of two types. One is the Marasmus disease. Second one is the Kwashiorkor disease. Second one is the Kwashiorkor. The two principal type of protein energy malnutritional disorders are, first one is the Marasmus disease, second one is the Kwashiorkor disease. Marasmus disease is mainly due to deficiency of both protein and calories in diet. Through the diet of the infant, whatever the food which is ingested or supplied, through which if these proteins and carbohydrates are not properly supplied to the body, definitely that leads to the development of the marasmus. Marasmus disease is mainly due to the deficiency of the both proteins and calorie, that is nothing but carbohydrates, through the diet of the infant. After some time that must be leads to the marasmus disease. Means marasmus disease is very commonly appear in the infant who is below 1 year in old. In the case of the infant who are below 1 year age, in which through the diet, proteins as well as the carbohydrate deficiency, if it is appear, definitely in them that kind of the marasmus disease is very commonly appear. Again, kwashiorkor is mainly due to deficiency of only proteins in diet. So kwashiorkor disease is mainly due to the deficiency of the proteins in the diet of the person. Means above in 1 year infant, above in 1 year child, due to any reason through the diet, if the protein deficiency is taken place after 1 year, definitely this kind of the kwashiorkor disease appears in the case of the child. Means marasmus is appears, it is appears in below 1 year old infants. Marasmus disease appears in children or infants who are below in 1 year. Means definitely if the mother's milk is replaced below 1 year and through the diet both proteins and carbohydrates are deficiency, definitely in below 1 year child that kind of the marasmus disease is very commonly appear. Marasmus disease appears in the case of the child who is below 1 year, but kwashiorkor disease appears, it is appears in above 1 year